G'day everybody and welcome back to Cooking with Mr. Cookie. Today I'm going to be making lemonade scones. This was a suggestion from someone in our community. I'd like to thank you for it, and this goes out to you. Today we're going to be using our oven, so please have adult supervision when operating. We're going to put it at a heat of 200 degrees for conventional oven and 180 for fan forced ovens. Let's get preheating. First, let's go through our ingredients. Today's an easy one, only 3 main ingredients, and I'll let you know how you can spice up your scones later in the video. First up, we have 3.5 cups of self-raising flour. Next up, we're going to have a cup of thickened cream. And lastly, we're going to have a cup of lemonade. Now that sounds weird, but trust me, it'll work. But first, it's time to wash our hands. Okay, it's time to put our ingredients together. We're going to chuck our cup of cream and cup of lemonade in with our flour. Now we're going to knead that together until all the flour is consumed by the mixture, and then you don't want to go overboard because too much kneading will make it too dense and it won't fluff up like we need it to. Let's get to it. As you can see, I'm nearly at the point where all the flour is consumed. I'm just going to make sure I get it all over. Beautiful. What we're going to do is get this out and knead it all together. What you want to do is lightly flour your surface and pour the mixture out onto it. And this is where we get to our kneading. So you want to fold and down, fold and down, and you kind of want to do this until it's not sticky anymore. If it's still very sticky, all you have to do is put a bit more flour on your surface and knead it into that flour. Now, what we said before about over kneading, you want to knead about 5 to 8 times, and that's it. We don't want to over knead it, and then you want to get it into like a bit of a disc. Now it's still very sticky for me, so I just added a bit more flour to my surface and helped to spread it out. We don't really want to knead it anymore. You want to flatten out into a disc that's about 2.5 centimeters thick. Beautiful. Now I forgot to add, when you were putting all your ingredients together, you could add a few things in to spice it up. If you want, you could add in some sultanas, or you can add in some chocolate chips. This will make your scone recipes just a little bit different and probably the way you like it. Okay, now that we've got our dough all ready, we've got our pan all ready with our baking paper on it. What you want is a circle cutter like this. What we're going to do is press down onto it and back up. We don't want to twist because that'll smear the edges and will stop them from rising properly. Let's get to it. Now that I've cut my circles, I want to get them out, but I don't want to touch the sides with my fingers, so I'm going to use a little serving spatula to help me get them out. Beautiful. What you want to do is get your scones next to each other on the pan because they'll actually help each other rise. That's pretty cute. Okay, what we're going to do is roll our dough together again. We're going to make it into a disc so we can do the next lot. Now, as I said before, we want to have the scones pretty much touching each other so they help each other rise. Just like we do in our community. We look after each other, especially in these times. Make sure you look after the people around you so we can all rise together. Now lastly, we want to put on some milk. We want to put that over the tops because it gets a nice crust on top. There you have it. These beautiful scones are ready to go in the oven. We're going to put these in for about 15 minutes. Beautiful. Alright, it's been 15 minutes. Let's get these scones out and onto the cooling rack. Make sure you have adult supervision and make sure you don't burn your hands. Let's get to it. Oh, look at them. Oh my goodness. They seem to have got together a little bit. Now you've got your scones on your cooling rack. What you want to do is to stop them from getting a very crispy top. So we're going to put a tea towel over the top of them. We'll come back when they're a bit cooler. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful. Well, there you have it. Scones are best served warm with jam and cream. But you can have them whichever way you want. Thank you for joining me for today's video. Let me know if you enjoyed this recipe and if there's anything else you want me to cook. Thank you very much. Let me give it a go. That's perfect. That's one of the best scones I've ever actually had. Not to toot my own horn here. Wow. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad.